Okay, meeting with Adam. He's one of our senior instructor trainers. He trained to be an ADI with us, then he became a trainer, and now he's a mentor to our new PDI instructors, helping them through their crucial Part 3 test. Hi, today we're with Adam. He's a Part 3 mentor here at My Four Wheels, and we're going to have a talk through his career so far. Would you like to give me a very short recap of your career so far?
Yes, so I've started with My Four Wheels. I just was looking for something different to do with job-wise, and saw an advert come up for it. I thought, well, that looks interesting, so I just applied, and then I started to do, at the time, the VCTs, I think autumn 2020, and then had my Part 2 training and Part 3 training. When I did my Part 2 and Part 3, I had two different trainers because I thought it was an ideal opportunity to gain different experiences from two different trainers. And at the time, knew nothing about what was involved in either of those tests.
Okay.
So it was an eye-opener. And looking back at the Part 2 training, although I could drive, it's making sure that you've got the skills that you can demonstrate when you need to instruct somebody to drive. When it's quite easy to say, yeah, I can drive, but then from my own experiences, okay, then how do I explain that, or get a learner to understand that this is what you need to do, or even, which at the time was a challenge, but then it's always thinking, okay, you've got to think outside the box and develop the pupil to be able to problem solve.
Right.
And I say that's probably the most important part of teaching somebody to drive. It's giving them the skills to be able to develop and thinking, okay, when they're on their own and they pass their L test, because that's when the learning really starts and they're on their own, how do they ensure that they drive safely and make the correct decisions?
Right, right. But what was the initial pull towards instructing for you?
And I saw it and I thought, you know what, I'm going to try that and see what happens. And that was the pull. I thought, why not? You never know till you try it.
When you're advising and training and helping people now, what do you think is the most important thing that you pass on?
Not to give up and not to get frustrated. I always, when I'm teaching pupils, there are elements where they get frustrated because it's not going right. So, well, we all have bad days in the office. Okay, just take a moment, think about it, and let's work on a solution to make you a happier driver so it works for you. If you need to take a break, then just consolidate, that's fine.
And what do you think PDIs need the most support with?
Taking a much more proactive approach, rather than just thinking, okay, I can just sit here and let the people go, because they want value for money.
Yes.
And it's really important to take a proactive approach to help the people build up their ability, experience, knowledge and understanding, so they can manage to drive successfully on their own. So to give you an example, one thing I did recently with a trainer is I let them drive my car because we were going to teach them forward bay parking. And I said, right, okay, I want you to drive because I want you to think about how you would do a forward bay park and break it down, because you're going to have to teach this.
Right.
So the biggest piece of advice is to any PDI is do yourself what you want to teach the pupil.
Right.
Break it down and then think, okay, how can I explain this or elicit the information from the pupil?
What type of person would you say makes the best driving instructor?
Patience.
Patience.
And someone who's creative.
Right, creative.
Yep.
That's interesting.
Because the reason for being creative is you've got to think, okay, how can I get this person to understand what I'm trying to explain? And as I said earlier, also thinking outside of the box, because it's not one size fits all. And you're dealing with lots of different personalities, the learning styles, and in some cases, particular learning needs.
Yes.
And it's also being open with the pupil. So I've got one pupil at the moment who we had some lessons with him, and then his mum turned around to me and said, well, he's got autism. So I asked him, I said, okay, is there anything I can do to help with your autism? And if you feel there is, just ask me. So it's, again, the reason for being open is because you've got to build that trust. one of the things, the very first thing I'll say to the pupils at the start is if you've got a question to ask, there's no such thing as a stupid question. It's a question. And also have a non-judgmental environment.
Yeah.
And I always start off by saying, okay, this is a safe learning environment. I'm not here to judge you. That's not my job. I'm here to help you learn to drive.
How does your approach differ to a learner, maybe training a PDI?
You have to approach it very differently because although the PDI can drive, and I would say to myself, I know you can drive, so I'm not here to teach you to do that. What I am here to do is to help you enhance the skills you've already got and to think, okay, how can I improve that? And again, it's also patience. So to give you one example, recently I was doing some training and we were driving along a road and the speed limit was 20 miles an hour. And there were a couple of drivers, this was two different examples, who were clearly not happy that this person was doing 20 miles an hour and got really frustrated. And I actually turned around to the PDA, where you have to lead by example. There's absolutely no point getting angry with people behind you because that's not a good example to show your pupils.
Yes.
If they want to get frustrated, fine. And if they want to overtake you, let them. That's their decision. As long as you know what's going on behind you, that's the important thing.
How would you describe My Four Wheels to somebody who is thinking of training to be a driving instructor? What would you say they can expect?
You can expect a lot of support. I would say ask lots of questions. If you're not sure of the information that you've received from My Four Wheels, then feel free to contact and ask, because there will be someone who will be able to guide you or point you in the right direction. As with any career or job, I didn't know as much as I did now, but I made the effort to go out and find stuff and continue my training.
Right.
And I think it is important, if you found something you really enjoy doing, there's always new things you can learn.
Right.
And you've got to continue that journey. And one of the dangers is that once you qualify and become an ADI, that the training or your CPD, continued professional development, doesn't stop there, because then you've got your standards check. And your standards check, what the DVSA are looking for is a much higher level of instructing, because you've got the experience.
Right, so the standards check goes up again.
Yeah. So I would say just enjoy it and look at different ways of instructing and see what information or training opportunities are out there for you. What I tend to do for my own thing is I'll always do my continue with my CPD, and I'll take the best out of other people I hear learn from. I'm thinking, okay, how can I make that work in my own lessons?
So that's how important that the continuing development is to you. That even you have come all the way through and you've trained people, and now you're here and you're mentoring people. You still understand that there is always something to learn, and you keep going forward.
Yeah, and the reason for that is because I want to impart that knowledge on trainees. And it's also making it, the other really important thing for me personally is just trying to make it accessible for, let's say, trainee instructors. Because although it makes sense to me, if I was to go back when I first started, it would probably think, well, I have no idea what that means. So it's putting it into, I suppose, into layman's terms. And if I was to give another piece of advice to trainees as well, much like you do with your learners, break everything down into small chunks.
Yes. So
don't try to learn everything all at one go, because then you won't assimilate it. And then by doing that, you can then think, okay, so I've mastered this particular area, and I'm going to move on to this one, and always self-reflect. Thinking, okay, what went well today? What could I do differently next time? How would I approach it? What do I need to tweak? And always use positive words. I don't have a negative environment in my car, so that's a positive learning environment.
I like that. That's a big thing for me.
And it's always got to be fun. So one of the things I always say to the pupils, just when we're about to move off, and say, like, right, let's go and have some fun. Because I think if you relaxed and the people knows that they're going to have fun, as long as it's safe, then it makes the lessons much more enjoyable.
What keeps you going? What inspires you in this industry at the minute?
Knowing that people pass through their own dedication and hard work, that's always that's one of the things that keeps me going. Meeting other like-minded people, and then just talking to lots of the trainees over the people who are going through part 3, and helping them to helping them to develop other ways of thinking about things. And one of the things I hear a lot is that they fall into the trap of what is referred to as a safety blanket, and they always want to tell the people what to do, but if the people's been told what to do, they're not going to be able to problem solve.
Right.
So it's asking rather than telling.
Oh, right. Yes.
And one training session I sat on with for CPD, they always refer to it, well, be a detective. Ask. See, because if you don't ask and you're just telling the people, you're telling the people what you think. Where it's the people's got to tell you what they think, and then from there you can then build into working the solution out with them.
Right.
And that inspires me as well.
Brilliant. Right. Thank you very much for talking to us today.
You're welcome. I hope you found that helpful.
Thank you.